Hello all and welcome to my channel, where science, technology, engineering, and math are made easy. Today I'm going to be doing a Python tutorial where I show you how to use sets in Python. Without further ado, let us begin. First of all, what is a set? A set is a collection of unordered elements that allow for testing and supports mathematical set operations. And without and I'm going to show you how to use it. So on here are the different parts of a set, and I'm going to show you each one. So let's start off with the type and len functions. Now, in my other videos, I covered the type and len functions when they're applied to tuples and lists and dictionaries, so on and so forth. So basically, a recap is a type tells you what you're dealing with, whether it's a set, a tuple, a dictionary, a list, or a string, integer, boolean, so on and so forth. And a len counts how many characters are in your message or word or whatever you have. So let's work on that. Marvel equals set Hulk. Now I'm going to print type Marvel because we need to know what we're dealing with. And of course, Marvel is a set. Now let's see how many characters are in Hulk. Print len Marvel. We're not asking how many characters are in Marvel. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 characters in Marvel. So Marvel is the variable, but it stores the value of Hulk. So that's what we're really asking. There's 4 characters in Hulk, so our output is 4. Now let's print Marvel. And it prints out Hulk. Now let's try something else. Let's try Spider-Man. Spider-Man, of course it's a set, but Spider-Man has 9 characters instead of 4. And remember earlier how it says unordered? So it can oftentimes appear like Spider-Man where it's all out of whack in its own little area, or it can appear like Hulk where it's in order. So let's do a for loop. I'm going to do DC equals set Batman. Now for I in DC print I. And this is what I get, Batman out of order. Now what if I print DC? For I in DC print DC. So we have the I from before, but DC gives us this huge block. Now what if we combine the two? For I in DC print I comma DC. So this is I, this is DC, and this is I DC. Now what if we reverse them? DC I. So you notice originally how this was on the left, but now it's on the right. So you can mess around with it and do different things. Now what happens if we have DC DC? Well, this is DC. So you know how the I was either on the left or the right? Well, that job is now taken by the DC. So what if we have two I's? So you have one eye on the left and one eye on the right. So you can mess around with this in different ways and do different things. Have fun. Now let's use the add function, and this gets into some math. So I'm going to have number equals 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 9. Number dot add. Well, first of all, let's print this out. Print number. So it prints out 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Now you notice how I have multiple 1s and multiple 2s and multiple 3s? It only prints out each value once since it's unique. So you could have 500 5s, but it's only going to print 5 once. Now here's where the add function comes in. I'm going to have number dot add. Let's add a 5. Now 5 is added. Let's add a 6. Now a 6 is added. Now let's add a 7 and an 8. So we've added 7 and 8. And we can even go beyond this list. Let's add number dot add 10. So now we have 1 through 10. Now suppose you wanted to get rid of numbers. So let's use the pop function. So I'm going to have numero equals 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. So I'm going to have numero. So we're going to start by printing this out. Print numero. And it only prints our values once since they're unique. But we're going to start getting rid of them. Numero.pop. And you notice it got rid of the 1? Well, a numero.pop is going to get rid of the 2. So the pop function goes left to right. So what happens when we go left to right completely and we get rid of the 4 and the 5? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pops, and over here my number list only goes from 1 to 5. So it's all deleted. Now what happens if you go beyond that? Then nothing happens because I'm out of range. So my 1 through 5 pops got rid of my values from 1 to 5. So let me explain a range. So this range is 1 to 5. It starts at 1 and it ends at 5. So I can get rid of 5 characters, but if you get rid of 6, you're going out of bounds since that doesn't exist in the code. Suppose I had 10 characters and I got rid of 10, no biggie. But suppose I got rid of 20, then that's going out of bounds and that doesn't work. Now suppose you want to get rid of an individual value. You're not content with going left to right like a pop. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to have number 2 equals 1, 3, 1, 2, 10. So first of all, let's print number 2. Since my stuff is somewhat out of order, this is out of order. This is in order. I go to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and the same up here. But down here it's out of order, so it's printed out of order. Now let's use the remove function. Number 2.remove. Now suppose I don't like 10. You notice 10 is removed. Now suppose I don't like 3. So now 3 is removed. Now let's remove the 1 and the 2. The 1 is removed. Now let's remove the 2. Now we face the exact same thing up here. We deleted everything. But what happens when you go out of bounds? Well, that's not possible since you already deleted everything. Up here, you could have a million characters up here. I really shouldn't call them characters. I think I should call them values. You could have a million values up here, and you can have pops until they're all removed. But once you go beyond that, you're out of bounds. Here, since you're specifying which value you want to remove, you're naturally limited. Like suppose I had number 2.remove 0. That's obviously going to become an error since there's no 0 in the list at all. I mean set. So let's use intersection now. Suppose I have Marvel equals Batman, and let's say Iron Man. Now before you comic book fans crucify me, I know this isn't accurate. Batman isn't a Marvel hero, just as Spider-Man isn't a DC hero. It's just for what I'm doing. And let's just say Batman. So what the intersection function does, I'm going to change this a little. No, I'm going to keep it. What the intersection function does is see what two different two different variables have in common with each other. So I'm going to do print Marvel.intersection DC. Now, Marvel has Batman in common with DC. Marvel Marvel has Batman and DC has Batman. So let's flip it. DC and Marvel. So they both have Batman in common. Now, suppose I said DC and DC. Well, DC has Spider-Man and Batman in common with itself. Now, if we're to put Marvel, it would have Batman and Iron Man in common with itself. So the intersection is just finding out two different variables, what they have in common with each other. I'm going to write it down for you. The intersection is when two variables have something in common, have a value in common with each other. You can pause the video to write it down if you'd like. Now let's do union. I'm going to use the exact same values, Marvel equals Batman and Iron Man. DC equals Spider-Man and Batman. Now I'm going to print Marvel.union DC. What the union function does is combine all the values together. So the values of Marvel and DC are combined together. Now the reason Batman is only printed once is since it's a unique value. Just as I showed earlier with the numbers, unique values are only printed once. So I'm going to write this down. The union, let me capitalize that. The union function combines the values of two variables together while unique values are only printed once. Now let's use the difference. We found what two different variables have in common and we combined them. Now let's find the difference. Marvel equals Batman and Iron Man. DC equals Spider-Man and Batman. So we're going to print Marvel dot difference DC. What makes Marvel different from DC is Iron Man. No, what makes DC different from Marvel is Spider-Man. I know I'm giving you comic book fans and superhero film fans a brain aneurysm, but I don't care. So what DC has different from Marvel is Spider-Man. So let's use the split function. So I'm going to have a message. It's going to say, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm going to say Spider-Man, since that's the comic book character this quote is most associated with, equals set message. I'm going to print Spider-Man. And it takes my message and throws it randomly into disarray. Now suppose I had Spider-Man 2 equals message dot split. So suppose we print Spider-Man 2. This time the message is perfectly done. Now let's use the len function down here. Print len Spider-Man. There's 19 characters here. Now this is obviously more than 19 characters in a human language, whether that's Latin or Klingon or Dothraki or English or Spanish or whatever language you speak. However, as I've said before, only unique characters are counted. So you see how there's an E here in great, and there's an E here in power. Well, only one E is counted. So you can have a million E's in this message, and only one E is counted. So there's 19 unique characters in the list. Now let's do it with Spider-Man 2. It says 6. With 1, great 2, power 3, comes 4, great 5, and 6 for responsibility. So for each word you might say, it counts for 1. And that's basically how it is. So please tell me what you thought of my video. Please tell me how I can improve my channel. I'm still new to YouTube. Please check out my other videos. Oh, and one more thing. In the link to the description of this video, there's my website. I have some of my videos on here. It's new. Like my video, give me honest feedback on it, and thank you. Goodbye.